going east.
That's correct. The old post office still in the background there.
Yes, the Jackson's Grill, the background.
And a lot of animation on these parades back in those days for the Santa Claus parade.
No snow.
No.
Generally, there was snow for the Santa Claus parade in Barrie.
I don't think so. It was usually held in... Well, some days I guess it was snowing when we've had them, but...
Seems to be a cool day, though.
Well, it's certainly not July.
Yes. On the merry-go-round on top of a truck. These tractors pulling some of the floats.
Old Santa Claus himself.
Yes. Bringing up the rear. A nice view of Dunlop Street. Oh.
This is a view of the water at
Seems to be a
there was a regatta going on here.
right.
You can
View of the waterfront. This is the government dock.
down at the bottom of Bayfield Street. You can see the diving tower that they erected for the diving competitions. This is in the back of George's boat. Gordon Needham there.
Gordon Needham, yes. And of course, all were smoking.
It was a thing to do back in those days.
Yes, here's some interesting shots of. This is a diving competition, I would assume, by the attendants. Quite a few people in the background. I think they're just about in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Of what? There's now a parking lot.
Back before this, in the earlier days, they always used to have canoe. These fellas rowing here, they seem to be more interested in the camera than they are in looking after their oars. I was going to say back in the early days, they used to have canoe jousting where one fellow would stand up in the gunnels of the boat and have a bamboo pole about 12, 14 feet long with a boxing glove on it and take on an opponent in another canoe and try to knock him off the gunnel. This is walking the greased pole, which is
extremely difficult. If we watch this carefully, I don't think anybody is able to walk right to the end.
Well, of course, as you got out farther and farther, there was less people got out that far, so there was more grease on the pole.
Grease on it, yes. It's. I wonder, you could certainly fall in a most precarious position and bang your head, but most of them didn't even get. Here's a chap who's getting just past halfway. He's nearly made it. I guess he would get a prize.
Well,
down he goes. Here's some speedboats are racing on the bay, and there's Barrie in the background. This is a victory parade, I believe, on Bradford Street, going towards Allendale, the tannery in the background.
That's what I think it is too, the victory, possibly VE Day parade.
Yeah. 1945 in May.
There's the bus again that I was telling you about that had the bell.
Sanders Brothers, isn't it?
No, that was Travers had the bus line, but that was I remember VE Day itself. Of course, the town exploded, and this would be after VE Day itself was just cars parading up and down the main street, honking their horns, and people very, very happy.
This would be just about now where the Dairy Queen is now, isn't it? There's a across from a motor company there.
Yeah.
This is a happy family.
It's another part of the family, of the Wright family.
Lovely big Saint Bernard.
Beautiful dog.
We left this in to show the fashion. Girls with their coats and buck shoes. Ladies in dresses. It's a very happy scene. Would this be little the little Wright girl? Or?
Judy?
No, I don't know where this is. It's a lady. Would this be in downtown Barrie?
Downtown Barrie. I'm just trying to.
Granny's.
This
would be it. This is in Barrie, yes.
I think this is where
Front of
they
the cleaners.
probably opened up a second shop someplace in Barrie here.
Was that the tannery in the background? Now here's a parade that's out of focus a bit. And the Central Collegiate Band is marching.
Whether that's Stella McCord in the front of it or not.
I think he's taking it right into the sunlight.
It appears that. Now this is the Sea Cadet Corps, and come up to Collingwood to go on board a minesweeper that was built up there. In the background you can see the elevators.
This must have been a monthly or maybe a yearly visit.
No.
Yeah, you were in there yourself.
Well, yeah, having it up again. They, no, we just went up. I only recall going once up to Collingwood as a corps to see this ship.
Were these ships operating in the Great Lakes?
No, these ships were built at Collingwood and then sent out onto the Atlantic.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Bill Bell? They were sent to the Atlantic.
Oh yeah, they were built. Corvettes and minesweepers were built up here.
So you chaps here had a visitation and were taken through the boat.
That's right. The Sea Cadet Corps was taken up and taken on board. An opportunity to see what maybe the future was holding for some of us. But now this is the old. That's the Barrie tannery, and the
waterfront.
that's the gas works there.
Oh.
And just before that was the Bayview Apartments at the bottom of Sampson Street.
The fellow is dressed in the style of boys of the late 40s, I would suppose. Maybe earlier.
Yeah. I remember in the early 40s wearing the knee breeks to school in the winter months.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible design. The socks that pulled up, they always seem to separate.
Is that the one you meant? Are those the ones that you wore?
That's it. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
And those days you burned the leaves. You didn't rake them, did you?
Oh, that's right. It was wonderful to walk through the smoke.
It seems to be on the waterfront here too, though.
I believe that this is taken over at Manette's Point.
This is on the waterfront, and they're having an amphibious vehicle go into the water.
Yeah, this is at the over in Allendale.
Yes.
In the background, shortly you'll be able to see the collier. There's the collier that they loaded the coal out of the steam
Yeah,
engines
right
with,
behind it.
and the roundhouse in the background.
Aye.
And
An interesting shot. Yeah, there's the roundhouse. You can see the chimney in the background on the right-hand
that's
side.
right. Yeah,
That's the South Shore Community Center now.
right.
And you see some steam coming there. And this is an amphibious duck, a landing craft that took the troops through water.
That's right. It's interesting. The sign on it reads D-U-C-K, but I believe the correct was really a D-U-W-K.
There they go again.
Yeah, it was an amphibious, but it was, I believe, D-U-W-K. That was the... And somebody just heard it. They used to call them the ducks, all right. The designation was...
This is a shot from a scene in Quebec City.
Right.
And it must have been at a convention or on a trip.
George attended a number of different conventions. I know that they always seem to be held down in Montreal or Quebec.
This is near the walls of old Quebec City. You see the sleighs here,
Yes.
horse-drawn sleighs. Some of these scenes are familiar because they still look like this nowadays. Old Quebec City has been well preserved. Two young ladies dressed up in the fashion of the 40s. Cold. Oh, this is an interesting scene. I believe this takes place in Kempenfeld Bay, and they're chopping the ice, making a hole, and somebody is going to go and demonstrate how he can swim in the icy water.
Yeah, that's the of course you can see the saw, the way they were using it. That's the way they used to saw the ice, to pull the ice out before they got the power saw.
This is on Kempenfeld Bay. You can see Allendale in the background. He's taking off his clothes. The people are keeping their distance. I wonder what they're thinking. I noticed there's no crowding at all. It's a cold, bitterly cold day, I would say, by watching these spectators.
Yeah.
He's sticking his feet in here, and now he's going to go for a swim.
Probably get in the water to be warmer than it is out in the air right now.
It's more people coming. I wonder, did he do this for money, or was this just something that was done for a carnival?
Well, some people used to do it, but I believe that some of these fellows used to. They weren't too shy if somebody passed a hat around.
I say, God.
It's refreshing.
My goodness. Notice
The dogs seem to be enjoying it.
yes, and the dogs were never tied up in those days, I understand. Now here is snow removal or snowstorm in Barrie on Dunlop Street looking east.
Yeah, well, this is the way that I can remember the
yeah.
winters with the snow being pushed off and piled up at the side of the road. This is the hockey team getting ready to. This is out at Midhurst.
They would be going out west, or?
Yes, they'd be going west at that
This is the
time.
Canadian Pacific Rail Line at this time here.
Right.
There was a station called Midhurst Station, which has been demolished, and Highway 2627 going across here.
Yeah. Hap-Ems fooling with one of the fellows.
There's a train coming in. I don't know whether this one is going to pick them up or it's just a freight going through.
No, this is a passenger train.
This is a passenger boarding the train.
Yeah. There's Neil Laurie,
Dr. Laurie,
Dr. Laurie.
team physician, was he?
Yes.
Midhurst Station, who was that chap?
I'm not sure whether that's Red Faro or not.